Hello, and welcome back to 6110. This month, we're all about sustainability, from highlighting ways local businesses are reducing their footprints to creative ways you can reuse everyday items. Today, we bring you a tutorial for homemade flower paper. This project reuses items you might have lying around at home. Let's take a look at what you'll need. A blender, a bin filled halfway with water, some old flowers, newspaper, a jug of water, and finally, a mesh frame, which you can make by taping pieces of mesh over a wooden frame. You'll also need a sponge and a wooden block the size of the frame. Let's get into the tutorial. First up, you'll need to rip the newspaper into pieces small enough to fit into the blender. Once your blender is full of paper, carefully fill it with water. We suggest filling the blender halfway. You're looking for a mushy consistency, and if you add too much water, the paper will become oversaturated. Next, blend. Once your paper and water mixture is blended, pour it into your tub of water. Now for the flowers. You'll want to carefully remove the petals from the stem. These petals are going to add some bright color and a beautiful fragrance to your paper. Aim for about half as many petals as you have newspaper pieces. If the petals are quite large, like rose petals, break them in half or into smaller pieces. Add the petals to your bin of newspaper and water. Now for the fun part. Take your mesh wrapped around the frame and sift it underneath the petals and newspaper. Make sure your frame is bottom side facing up to collect the mixture. The petals will float, which is perfect. You want a solid layer of newspaper mush underneath the petals. The newspaper is what's going to form your paper. The flowers, an accent. Once your frame is completely covered in newspaper and petals, it's time to soak up the excess water using a sponge. Carefully flip your frame into the wooden block and press down using the sponge to set the mixture in place and absorb any water. Keep sponging until no water is absorbed into the sponge. Today's work is done. You'll need to give your paper 24 hours to dry. The next day, your paper should look something like this. Carefully peel the paper from the mesh and voila! There you have it, homemade flower paper. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to give us a follow on our social media and stay tuned for our next video.